Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Single Parents Podcast, the show that is far from traditional. If you end up enjoying what you see and liking what you hear, consider subscribing to the podcast, sharing the podcast with a friend, and rating the podcast 5 stars on your favorite podcast hosting platforms. That way, we can tell those algorithms out there that the show is legit, and it will pass it along to more people. All right, well, here's a little taste as to what you can expect on today's show.
I did that. Not his alcoholic, absent
Yeah.
father.
Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Jessica. Hello,
Hey.
Anthony. I'm going to get banned from doing the intro because I just always want to sing when I start doing the podcast for some reason. I don't know. I think because this is my happy place, this is my safe place. So like I could be stressed all day dealing with parenting and life and work, but just whenever I get behind this beautiful microphone, it just brings me so much joy. So maybe that's why I like to sing so much.
I actually do the same thing in the mornings, but I know where that stems from. It's because my dad used to do the same thing in the mornings when I was younger. He would just be like, "Good morning, my beautiful daughter,
Aw.
Jessica." And he used to do all that stuff, and I now do it with Grayson in the
That's
mornings,
so
just
sweet.
singing to
Aw.
him. Oh, it's the best. And also, my uncle says singing means that you're happy, so that's a
Yeah.
good sign.
I agree. Yeah, that's good. I think I would like to try singing to my girls like that, but they would ban me from their bedroom. They would call me cringe. They'd tell me to get out.
Your
But
girls are so special.
I think it'd be one of those things where I do it, and then 20 years when they're hanging out and they're thinking about, do you remember when Dad used to sing to us in the morning? That was so special. I still remember that.
Yeah, that's how I feel now. That's
Yeah.
that's literally exactly how I feel. Is I used to be like, "This is so
Uh-huh.
obnoxious," and he used to do it even in the mornings up until I went to high school. And
Wow.
when you're in high school, well, girls especially, you're just moody and
Yep.
it's early and you don't want to go to classes and, whatever. And I would come into the kitchen to just like grab my backpack and like a water bottle and like go for the day. And he would be like singing and he'd have like half a bagel ready for me in the
Oh
morning
my
so I
gosh,
could
that's so
take it on my
sweet.
drive to school.
Aw.
I know, so thoughtful. Oh, we love Durkey
Dang.
D.
Turkey D, shout out Turkey D.
Durkey
That's a
D,
cool
my
name. That's a cool
guy.
name. I like that name.
Well, his name is Dirk, and I
Okay.
make nicknames for everybody. So kind of like, I think I told you like how I call Grayson Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just names for everyone. Durkey D, that's my dad.
Turkey D.
Or you know what? When we talked about my mom, I
Yeah.
probably said Barbie or Barbie Jean.
Barbie. I think you said Barbie. You might have said Barbie
Yeah,
Jean.
I have no idea, but I nicknames for her too. Durkey D and Barbie Jean.
All right,
Okay, come on, Billie Jean.
I need a nickname one day, but don't do it now. It has to be natural. It has to be genuine and authentic.
No,
So once
here's
the moment happens, I need to know what it is, though.
the only thing is that you have the same name as my brother.
Right? I think you told me
You're
that. Yeah.
both Anthony, and I call him Tony.
See, I don't think I told you this. Maybe I have, but I don't think so. I hate being called Tony.
Oh,
Hate it.
really?
Growing up, I hated it. Now I still like I have one of my like old best friends. He kind of like got grandfathered into it cuz he just did it, but we've been
Yeah.
friends since like 14, 15 years old. So like now when he does it, it's like all right, whatever. Like I'm used to hearing his voice say it, but now cuz I just feel like Anthony and Tony, those are two different people. It's like Jimmy and James or something like that.
Wait,
It's
that's so funny. My best friend's name, I call him James, or I
yeah.
call him Jamisha or Pam,
Tamisha. I like
and
Pam.
his whole family calls him Jimmy. But none of
Really?
his friends do. None of us call him Jimmy.
Yeah,
We call him
yeah.
so many other things, but not Jimmy.
See, I did. Yeah, I just. So I'm glad that you have a reason not to call me Tony, because I just never got that. I don't feel like I'm a Tony though. But people did used to call me Antonio, and I did like that. 'Cause
Ooh, I
that's
do like that.
smooth. That's
I feel like that's
suave.
pretty
That's
fitting.
sexy. Yeah, Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was
yeah.
funny though when I grew up in a military household. My dad was in the Marines, and so we moved around every few years. So what would happen, especially as I got older, the teacher would get like a note saying like, okay, in a couple days we're gonna have a new student coming in because they're moving to the base, and she would read it in front of the class and be like, okay, in a couple days we're having a new student. This time his name is Anthony Crosby. So my friends would tell me like when the teacher would do that, they would expect like this Italian looking guy coming in because like, oh, we're getting Anthony Crosby. Like, okay.
Yeah, wait,
And,
actually, totally.
and then I walk in and they're like, oh, that is not what we thought he was gonna look like. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. So Antonio, so yeah, call me Antonio. So like that's it's like it sounds like I should be running like a Italian restaurant. Like come to
Oh my gosh,
Antonio's.
yes.
Hmm.
Oh, Antonio's. That would
Antonio's.
definitely be a place that I would eat. I'm just
I
a
wish.
pasta fiend.
Yeah, we talked about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a pasta
Mm-hmm.
fiend.
But besides being a pasta fiend, how you been? Let's catch up a little bit before we
Yeah.
get into the deep stuff. Well, not deep stuff. Do we get into the main topic? See. I'm just trying to just a little preamble, a little pre-app. I've been trying to decide how I feel about today's main topic because I don't know if it's something that I think we should just be aware of, or if it's something that kind of annoys me and pisses me off, and I need to like be a champion against the stereotype that we're going to I don't know. Because I've like when we talked about the baseball wife thing, like I had
Mhm.
strong opinions about
Yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah.
but this one, I don't know. So we'll get into that in a second. But anyways, how are you feeling today? What's
You
up? What's
know,
new?
oh, I don't know. Nothing is really new.
Okay.
I have been exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing the whole pumpkin patch thing because,
Oh yeah.
fall season has
It's
begun,
that
but it
time.
was so hot this
Yeah.
weekend. It was so
Yeah.
hot. So I was sweating my arse off while
Yep.
going through this gosh darn corn maze.
Mm-hmm.
And Grayson has these rosy cheeks on, but
Aw.
he was so flim flam and cute. When he was
Aw.
younger, he didn't always, smile for his
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
photos. And now every time I'm like, oh, okay, say cheese for mommy, he will look at the camera and be like, cheese. And
He's
he'll
like,
smile and
yo,
he's so cute.
he does it for the gram.
He
He's like,
really
you
does.
better
He's
slap a good
he's
filter on
so
that.
adorable. Oh, also, speaking not the gram, but
Yeah.
TikTok,
Uh-huh.
this is like so one, we're close to 1,000 followers, which, might
Woo!
not be a big milestone for other people, but it's defo a big milestone for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been randomly just like posting these TikToks where I'm like, single moms, like you're a baddie and I love you and all this stuff. And if I were to post something like that on my normal page, I honestly don't think I would have anybody respond or comment back. But if
Uh-huh.
I post that stuff on the Single Parents podcast page,
Interesting.
the moms that respond, they're like, oh, I love you too, love you. And I'm like, oh
Yes. Let's
my God,
go. We like to see that. Let's
it's,
go.
yeah, it's a sense of community. So like
It's
that
so
has been
good.
my big win of the
Mm-hmm.
week is like when I just go on to the TikTok and say like, I love you guys.
Yep.
I'm so happy. You're baddies, whatever. And they like actually comment back. It'd be so cool if those people that comment saying that they love us back or whatever, it'd be so cool if they were listening to this podcast and know that I'm
Oh, I
giving them a
hope.
shout out right now.
Yeah, see that makes me so happy, and I love seeing that too, and I love that you started doing that because that's just what we need more of. We need more of the people in our community, single parent
Mm-hmm.
community, just hyping each other up, reminding each other that we're baddies and all those sorts of things because it's just crazy out there. Everybody has like all these opinions about us, but we
Mm-hmm.
need to stick to our own opinions about ourselves, which is that we're pretty awesome. So
Yeah, we're
glad that
great.
that message is getting out there.
Yeah, no, I feel so good about it. Is there any big
So good.
wins or positive things from the
Ooh,
past week for you?
that's a. I'm glad you phrased it like that because I I need to rethink how I'm going to answer this in a good way, because I had like an answer prepared. Because I was going to share a little bit about my week. Basically, I announced on a couple of episodes ago now that I was going to start homeschooling one of my daughters, my oldest daughter. Long story short, you can go listen to the episode. I talk more in detail about this, but she just has been asking for like a year to be homeschooled. Me and her mom feel like it fits her personality and her learning style. So we found a program that works online for her to do that. So last week was our first official week. And it was a change. It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad. I don't want to make it sound like it was horrible. It was just different routine, different schedule, different
Right.
adjustments we had to make. But to answer your question, though, your question was like, what's some wins? I appreciate you asking that because it has been a lot adjusting and still doing with a whole bunch of other stuff. And their mom has been like on a little vacation. So usually I do week on, week off every 7 days. Every Sunday we exchange, but I've had them longer now because their mom's on vacation. So it's been just extra time and extra
Yeah.
meals to prep and extra homework to do. So it's been a lot, but I haven't, to be honest, in all the stress and the chaos and the adjustments, really sat down and thought about like the wins. And I think I need to have a better attitude about that because like it's easy just to be like, oh my gosh, it's been so crazy, so wild, so all over the place. I'm stressed. But sometimes you just need to see it from a different perspective of like, well, what's been something worth celebrating in all that chaos? So thank you seriously for asking that. Like that really shifted my whole perspective. I think a big win that I'll share from my daughters that I don't know. Sometimes you just look at them and decisions they make, and you're like, huh, maybe I am doing a good job doing this parenting thing. So my oldest daughter had a sleepover with some of her best friends because it was one of her friends' birthday, and they had a party, then a sleepover. So my younger daughter was just gonna hang out with me that night while she was at the sleepover, and we were gonna, I don't know, watch TV and eat junk food or whatever we were gonna do.
Oh, it
S-
sounds so fun.
I was like, okay, I'm chill with that. Like, let's do
Yeah.
it. But she's, 8, 9. So when we got to the party, we walked Big Sister in, and she saw like the vibe, she saw the music, she saw the
Yeah.
presents and the cake and the sandwiches and that stuff. And technically, she was invited to the party too. The birthday girl invited both my girls, but the birthday girl is like close friends with my older daughter. They were in the same class, but she extended it to little sister,
That's kind.
which was nice. But we kind of just said, like, you know what? Like, let Ev go have this party because this is her friends, and we'll just kind of let her do her thing. And then you can hang out with me, Maddie. We'll have a chill night ourselves. But like I said, when she got into the party, she was like, oh man, like, I kind of want to stay. And so, like, she kind of like put it on her face that she was bummed, and we forgot
Oh.
to bring some clothes for the sleepover, so we had to run home. So when we ran home to get the backpack, she was like, oh man, I wish I could go to the party. And I was like, well, technically you were invited, so technically you could, but like we told Ev, Big Sister, that she would have this time with her friends. But if you want to reach out and ask Ev if she's okay with you coming to the party, you can, but don't be too upset if she says no, because she might just want time with just her friends.
Right.
She's like, okay, but I'll just try calling her. So she tried calling her sister, and at first she's like, no. And I'm like, well, see, I think let's just hang out with us. And she was bummed. And then, like, 2 seconds later, Ev called me on my phone and was like, Dad, it's okay. She can come. You can bring her to the party. And I was
Oh.
like, are you sure? Because I didn't pressure. I didn't try to convince. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's fine. She can come, but she can't spend the night. She can come to the party. Then you got to pick her up in a couple hours. I'm like, okay, that's fair. And Maddox was like, okay, that's fair. So I went, dropped off the backpack in Maddox. And so I just got to chill. I got like a couple hours by
Yeah,
myself.
right.
And I was going to go hang with some friends and have a barbecue. But I didn't want to like go to the barbecue and then get the call to go pick her up and then have to like maybe go back or whatever. Like I was just like, I'll go to the barbecue after I pick her up from the party and then we'll both go to the barbecue together. So I kind of just
Yeah.
chilled. So then a little bit later, like an hour and a half later, I get a call from the girls and they're like, hey, actually, can you bring Maddox some clothes? Because she can just spend the night. We want her to spend the night. I'm like, oh.
Oh,
Are you sure? Like, I guess again, your choice. She's like, no, we want her to. We're having so much fun. So just bring our stuff and bring our swimsuits because there's a hot tub and blah blah. We're gonna do TikTok dances in the hot tub. So
oh
hurry up.
my God.
So I was like, okay. So I brought the stuff. They grabbed it. It's like, bye, Dad. Ran, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go hang out. So I got to go hang out with my friends, kidless, and we sat by the fire and drank a little too much and had a good
Oh
time.
yeah. That's the vibe.
But all of that to say, a long story like made me happy because it just showed like the empathy and the love that my girls have for each other to where they're able to notice when the other one is kind of bummed and might need a little something something and then them being willing to first compromise what she did about you can come to the party but not the sleepover, but then be cool with like having her stay the night with her friends. I know, I just thought that was a really, I told her, like, I was my older daughter Ev, I was like, I was really proud of you for doing that
Yeah.
because you didn't have to do that whatsoever. And she's like, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
sisters do. So
A
anyways,
compassionate girl.
yes, that was a proud dad moment. That was proud.
Yay! You should be proud of that, honestly.
Thank you.
You should
Yeah.
be proud of that. And I feel like, yes, thinking about how to look at the wins in a situation rather than the
Right.
negatives,
Yeah.
which definitely ties into our topic for
Ooh,
today
yes, it
that
does.
you kind of have feelings about as you described. I don't know. Do you care to
Mhm.
share? Do you want to kind of tell me a little bit about feelings that you may or may not have?
Yeah, so basically, backstory. I was scrolling through TikTok one day, as I normally do, and I came across it. I wish I would have favorited the video or saved it, because then I would just like put a clip of the video I watched here right now for you to listen to
Yeah.
yourself, but I didn't, so I don't have the clip. But essentially, what a single mom was talking about was she was like, hey, you know what? I really wish there was more content on this app or content in general about some real positivity when it comes to single moms, and not just like positivity like you got this, girl, you're doing great, like we see you, we love you. But she was like, I've noticed that a lot of the content around single moms, the discussions around single moms, the narrative around single moms kind of centers around this struggling single mom theory, as she put it. And what she means is like that is like everything about single moms kind of assumes that all single moms out there are struggling and down and out and hating their lives and wanting a man to come along and get them out of their situation and can't pay their bills and blah 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 blah. And her point was like, not that that's not happening, because obviously there's people in that situation, but she was just like, but that's not every single mom out there. Like, there are single moms who are legit thriving in many different ways. So
Right.
they're not all single moms are the struggling single mom narrative that seems to be out there. So her whole point was like, I wish there was more single moms or single mom content just showing off how they're thriving. Like, I'm talking about single moms who are business owners, single moms who are driving $100,000 cars,
Yeah.
single moms with houses that they purchased themselves, single moms who are just doing all the things when it comes to their kids. And I was just like, yeah, that's a really good point. There's not a whole lot of stuff out there really highlighting that aspect of the single moms. And by extent, so when I'm saying single moms, I'm saying by extension single dads too, but like single parents of like, there's some single parents who are actually out there thriving and killing it, and they're not down and out, and they're not like, woe is me. They're like, I'm good. Like, you see that car on the driveway? I paid for that. You see this house? I did this. You see my kids who are D1 athletes? I help get them to that point, and all these different things. And so I just thought it would be cool just to have like an episode focusing on people who live in that reality. So when I say like, oh, I've been struggling with my feelings about this, I think it's not so much like anger that a lot of the content out there is like woe is me down and out single mom content, because like I said, that's sometimes needed because single moms and dads who are kind of feel like they're at rock bottom need to hear and see that they're not alone in that too. And there's other people who are working their way up to being at thriving, but it's kind of a stereotype and it's kind of a cliche that all single moms are like that. And I think it's just more annoying that we don't have more content highlighting those thriving single moms. So that's, yeah, I'm done being annoyed. I want to talk about the thriving parents
Yeah.
out there. So I don't know. So before we get into what we're going to get into, what are your initial thoughts on the struggling single mom theory that's out there?
So I'm actually really, really excited about talking
Yeah.
about this topic. And it's funny because I don't know if you remember, but before I joined the podcast full
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not sure if it was our first episode together or if it was the second one, but we definitely talked about the narrative of thriving and being a single mom and things like that. And we talked about my life
Mm-hmm.
and how you see so much on social media of the single moms
Yep.
crying and they're sitting
Mm-hmm.
in their car alone. That was exactly what we talked about, was the
Exactly.
single moms that sit in their car alone and crying. And, to each their own. I
Mm-hmm.
know that everybody has their own thing, but I mean, don't quote me on this, but I very much feel that I probably will never, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle of a meltdown and crying, my first initial reaction is not to pull out my phone and take a video of myself crying.
Good point. That is
So,
so true.
but you know what? Do you, babe, if that's something that you want to do. I just
Mm-hmm.
know that I probably will most likely not be posting content like that, especially because
Yeah.
I feel as though I'm thriving in my
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel similar to you because there is this huge narrative on social media that, and, even when posting as a single mom, you get so much hate for some odd
Oh
reason.
yeah. Yeah.
And so people just want to post all of the sad things, but you really have to look at all of the positives
Mm-hmm.
that come with being a single parent. They are literally making themselves miserable. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing it to themselves. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know how else to put it. I'm all about the tough love, but
Yeah.
those people that are like, I can't do it. I'm so tired all the time. I'm sitting in my car crying and they're doing the most. It's
Yep.
like you are definitely doing that to yourself. I think
Mm.
you need to switch your mindset. I think you need to get into a better routine. You need to do things that make you happy.
Mm.
You can definitely struggle because it's
Sure.
not just, you know, sunshine and rainbows all the time. It's most definitely
Mm-hmm.
not, do I have breakdowns? Yes, that's also
Yep.
something that we've talked about on the podcast as well. I have
Mm-hmm.
breakdowns all the time, but that's such a municipal part of being a single mom. If I want to cry one day out of the 7 days of the
Yeah.
week, I don't think that that's that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to figure out how you're going to manage it. You have to figure out what you're going to do to help yourself. So,
Hmm.
I feel similar to you, and I feel deeply connected with it because
Yeah.
I feel as though I am a single mom that's thriving and not posting all of the sad junk on TikTok. And so I think we might have talked about this before, but we're a
Mm-hmm.
part of this single parent Facebook group, whatever.
Yeah.
And basically, what Anthony did was he wanted to hear people's stories about how they're a single mom and how they feel as though they are thriving and what their story may be.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anthony and I both chose a few stories that we feel, I don't know if connected to is the right word, but that we feel maybe somewhat deeply about that we want to discuss. And not only is it going to help like you and I when we talk about it,
Right.
because I feel like anytime we have like these discussions, obviously I have my own stories and know my thoughts about it, but I love hearing about what you chose and your thoughts about it. And I feel like it always happens to where it's like, wow, I really didn't think of it that way. Like, what a great way to put that. And it happens every single time. So
Yep.
I'm excited to hear kind of what you chose and how you feel about those things. So, would you prefer to start or would you like me to start?
Sure, I'll start because I
Okay.
think I have a good one. And yeah, as Jessica said, these we're about to read and discuss from for the rest of the episode are from real single moms who just were like, "Hey, let me tell you about how I'm thriving." So we didn't make these up. We specifically asked for people to share a little of their stories, and so the first one I'm gonna read. She just says, "Yes, queens, we like that. Yes, queens."
Yes.
I get talks all the time about how I should be open, or excuse me, how I should open that door and allow a man into our life. I know exactly what you're referring to, being like the whole struggling single mom topic. That's kind of what the post was about. So
Right.
that's what she's referring to. I know exactly what you're referring to because it is seen as a sad life without a significant other. And I don't understand that. I didn't get a lot of love growing up, but I have found it in my chosen family, my amazing friends, and my son. And honestly, the comfort of trusting the people I have around us outweighs the idea of random men being in my life and my son seeing that. I watched my mother struggle with depression every time a guy wasn't in her life. It literally revolved around how a man saw her. And something about that struck me as sad. I have let guys get to me this way and finally realized that a man didn't make my worth. We love to hear that.
Yes.
And my son will see that too. He doesn't see guys in and out of my house. And for me, that is a true flex. She put the flexing emoji.
It really is.
My son also has autism, and I have raised him on my own for almost 11 years now. I make our ends meet. I do not rely on his father for any of it, and I think I am damn strong. Oh, well, hold on. Let me get this right because she drops the mic here. And I think I am a damn strong, independent woman. We like it. We like it.
Yes. Oh my
I think
gosh,
I
that is
like
so
that one
good.
because she saw the other side of like the narrative, right? The other
Yeah.
side of like, oh, woe is me, unless I'm loved by a man, then don't have worth, I don't have value, I don't have this. And that was always, so now to really kind of get going on this converse topic, that's what always like really got me about the struggling single parent or just conversations about single parents in general, when people would basically insinuate that for you to be saved from your situation, for you to have an actual good life, for things to get better, you just need to wait until you finally meet that right person or you get married again or all these other things. And so basically, without coming out and saying it, they basically were saying or are saying, hey, you don't have value right now. You kind of suck right now where you are, so you need somebody else to come in to kind of fix stuff. So when people hear that and internalize that, what they're doing is they're seeking that salvation, seeking that validation, seeking that self-worth from other people. And the older you get, the slimmer the pickings are, the more it kind of gets messy and stuff like that. So your standards might start up here, but then they might start settling a little bit because, well, the guy up here is not really giving me the attention, but this guy's giving me attention, but he's maybe down here, not the best guy in the world, but at least he's validating me. At least he talks to me. So like I'll put up with that, I guess, because I guess I'm not good enough by myself. I'm not complete enough by myself. And I just always thought that was crap because number one, you're assuming that every single parent wants to be married again. I think we have
Right.
some people who've chosen to be single on purpose. And number
Yeah.
two, it just devalues people where they are. Like there's no rule book that says for you to have self-worth, you need to be married or you need to be in a relationship and all these other things. Practically, can it be easier in some ways? Yes, but practically it could be harder in some ways too. So it's not this black and white thing of like, you need it in order to be. And so like I love her post because she saw the effects of somebody living with that. I need somebody else to validate me. I need somebody else to validate me, and how depressing that was. So she chose to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to take care of my son. And she loves it. And just listen to how she talked about herself. Like, she talked about herself so highly, and we love to see that. So anyways,
Yeah.
I love that
That
one.
was honestly, you read it so well. I was really engaged while you were like reading that. And
Yeah.
I just feel so deeply about this topic
Mm,
because I can relate to it so much as a
yeah.
woman and a single mom and choosing to do it on my own and the thriving thing.
Hmm.
And what an empowering way to write about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that was just like a comment on a post, but that was I feel like that was
That was
so
so good.
powerful.
That's
It
so
made me
good.
feel something. I hope that whoever wrote that,
Yeah.
I hope she watches this
Me
because
too.
that made me feel something in my soul.
Hmm.
But the thing that I really connect with is how she's giving herself a pat on the back and
Hmm.
flexing because she didn't show her son that she had, like, many guys in and out of the house all the time.
Yep.
And something that I do wanna say, I mean, not just to us, but to anybody listening, your child models your behaviors.
Oh yeah.
So if your child is growing up and they're watching mom have all these guys come in and out of their life all the time, they will most likely, and I'm not saying they will, but
Hmm.
there's a high chance that they will do those same behaviors when they are older. And that is something that I feel very strongly about. And, I've lost friendships over things like that because I don't agree with a parent that's going to have random strange men around their child constantly.
Hmm.
And that's definitely something that I didn't want for my son. There's no way that I'm just going to have these random guys in and out of his life. And, his father had already abandoned him.
Right.
So why would I bring these guys in who don't even truly care for him
Yep.
and they're just going to walk out? So he would grow up with no sense of like stability and
Hmm.
somebody that he can count on other than me.
Yep.
And I mean, ideally, it'd be nice to have somebody for him that
Yeah.
is going to be somebody that he can count on. But I mean, like you said, some people definitely choose to just
Hmm.
stay on their own. And that is the best way that they thrive. So I
Yep.
feel like everybody has their own definition of thriving. And
Hmm.
that post from that girl was just so empowering, and she most definitely is thriving,
I
especially in
agree.
her own book, with how she talks about herself and her situation. It was very
It was
moving.
really, really good. I
Yeah, so
appreciated that.
good.
And I just want to say one thing before you read yours is that what you said was 1,000% true. Everybody has their own definition of thriving. So I
Mhm.
know earlier when I talked about the single parent, single mom who's thriving, I mentioned like a lot of like material stuff, like the house and money, but that was to kind of like make the point. But
Right.
I don't think not every single parent who's thriving needs to have the big old house and the Lamborghini, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, like what we just read, a single
Yeah.
parent who's thriving in my book is one who's able to say, "I'm good, I'm strong, I'm legit, I'm hot, I'm awesome." Is it like you said? So is it easy every single day? No. Do we struggle financially or with emotions sometimes, loneliness? Sure, yeah, okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, are you able to talk about yourself the way this gal talked about herself? If the answer is yes, then that's thriving. And so 1,000%. So whether you're thriving as you are the CEO of a business as a single parent, or you're thriving is, you get to go to bed every night with your head held high because you know you did the best that you could and your kids are doing well. So love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I have a perfect one that
Okay.
connects with many of the things that you just said.
Okay. Okay.
We talked about choosing to be single,
Mm-hmm.
choosing to not be with somebody else, and the financial thing,
Yeah.
because, it might not always be, oh, I'm a millionaire, but it
Yeah.
could be something where I just make sure my kids are fed and
Yep.
we're still doing the thing. So here's one of the ones that I saved.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I chose to be single. My son's father was contributing only toxic energy and wasn't interested. I did not force the fact, and we went our separate ways. I could have fought for assistance, but I chose to do it on my own. I don't think anybody is thriving in today's world financially,
Hmm.
LOL. But I think energy wise, we are in this house. My son and I wake up every day and live life the way we want to. We don't have to compromise to second opinions, but having to contribute energy or by not having to contribute energy to a partner, I can put all of my energy into my child where he doesn't even realize he's missing a parent. People
Hmm.
ask if I plan on dating and that I need companionship. But honestly, I don't trust bringing strangers around my child. And for at least the next decade, the only thing I have to worry about is making sure that he is happy, healthy, and loved.
Hmm.
And the cool part about this is it falls solely in my hands, and I don't have to worry about somebody else dropping the ball. So I think I'm thriving energy wise. We
Hmm.
only have positive energy around us because we chose that. I feel like I was more financially strapped and emotionally struggling when I was in a relationship.
Ooh,
Choosing the single life has cleared all of that negativity out of my path.
that
That's
was
also another powerful,
amazing. That
right?
was good, good, good.
Doesn't it make you feel
Dang.
something?
Yes, dang, that energy part is huge because I just don't think that gets talked about enough. The fact that as the adult, as the parent, you get to dictate the energy that's brought into your house. And so, not saying it's always going to be perfect. You're going to have rough days and you're going to, the mood in your house is going to not always be cupcakes and roses, but you don't have to worry about, man, how's this other person doing? How am like what is their mood, like whatever, like you just get to dictate that, and I think that's huge and that's awesome. So dang, that was really really good.
I know. I just love how all of these truly make me feel something. And the energy thing, just like you were talking about, it you got to have all the good vibes and the best
Hmm.
energy, and I feel like that is all about what we're talking about because there
Yeah.
is this huge narrative that if you're a single parent or a single mom, you just feel like shit all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
But
And
you
I
have
like
to,
what she said about the fact that things actually have gotten better since she
yeah,
became a single mom. I think that's huge because again, talk about the stereotype and start talking about this narrative. There's this assumption that financially, even financially and all these other ways, it's automatically going to be worse if you're single or single mom. But to her point, she's like, no, actually things got better when I was
yeah.
single by myself.
Yeah, I mean, she also made these decisions. She said that he wasn't interested. Like the
Yep.
dad himself was not interested, and so she didn't force it. And
Hmm.
and she was like, "Okay, I guess we're just done." And she's saying she could have fought for the assistance, but
Yeah.
she chose to do it on her own. And I mean, it's the same boat. You know, it, I like I know I'm connecting everything back to me,
Mhm.
but I just can
That's fine.
relate to it so much
Yeah, yeah.
about having somebody that you conceived with
Mhm.
not being interested and not
Right.
having or they don't want any of it, you know? And so you decide to remove the negativity and
Mhm.
choose to do things your way and best possible outcome.
Mhm.
And she said that she was doing better. I think of fruit in a bowl. I don't know if I've ever told you this comparison. Have I told you this? I
I
might
don't
have. I don't know.
maybe, yeah.
But
Let me hear it.
fruit in a fruit bowl, and I mean, if you have like a bunch of apples in a
Yeah.
bowl, there's one apple that's starting to rot.
Okay.
And because it's with the other apples, it's going to make all the other ones rot faster. It's basically going to destroy the
Yeah.
rest of the fresh fruit because of it being rotten. But
Mhm.
if you were to just get rid of that rotten thing, all of the apples are still going to stay good. You could still eat them throughout the week.
That's
So it's
awesome.
that same type of thing. You have to
Yeah.
remove the negative energy so that you can actually have the best mindset, energy,
Mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff. So I feel so
Dang.
connected to all these things, the energy
That was
wise. You just
good.
have to have your head in the right spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. All right. This next person says, I would say I'm fairly thriving as a single mom. I'm almost 1 year post divorce and thankfully already had a decent paying job prior to the split. My ex always took care of the cooking, paying bills, caring for our child while I was at work in our single income household. We split all of the other responsibilities down the middle. We got married pretty early on, months after I turned 18. Oh, wow. So I
Oh.
never actually lived alone my entire life. Even post divorce, I lived with friends for several months. I got my own place in August for the first time ever, and I'm doing it all on my own now, also for the first time ever. I was scared that I couldn't do it solo, and I'm finding that it's not as daunting and possible as I thought it was. I always thought I couldn't cook, but turns out I'm pretty decent at it. I pay my bills before their due dates, grocery shop, clean, cook, raise my daughter, all while managing a heavily regulated business and still finding time to hang out with friends. It helps that her father and I are finally able to co parent peacefully. The biggest surprise of them all, though, is that I truly love living alone with my daughter. The freedom cannot be matched by anything else. I was raised in a time when finding your true love was the goal. Now I'm just vibing solo, perfectly content. If someone comes along that vibes with me, cool. But they better have their own place because I'm not looking to live with anyone else ever again.
Oh. Well, maybe that will change one day.
Yeah, maybe. But she
But
seems pretty
it's
happy.
yeah, well, that's a great thing. You know what? It's so funny how when you decide to like make the decision, things can really change for you. She's like, "Wow,
Yeah.
I'm not that bad of a cook. I never really realized that I could
Yeah.
do all these things
Yeah.
because I've been stuck in this same routine with someone who doesn't make me feel fulfilled or whatever the case may be." But it's
Mhm.
so cool how much you can truly learn about yourself when you're put in these new situations and
Yeah.
have like opportunity. You have opportunity coming to you
Right.
when you're put in a sticky situation. I learned so much about myself after becoming a single mom. And I'm sure that you have learned so much about
Yep.
yourself with the journey that you're on with
Yep.
parenthood and all of that stuff. So things can really change and you can learn
Mhm.
so much about yourself and it just doesn't have to be bad. I feel so strongly about that.
And like she said that you like get to learn stuff about yourself that you might not have the ability or the opportunity to learn when
Right.
you're with somebody. Yeah, we mentioned like she learned she can cook and she runs a business and
Yeah.
she's managing her house and she's able to do all these things despite not having somebody. And I think you have the space to grow and explore and actually, especially with this gal being so young, like post 18, she probably, no, not
Yeah.
probably, she didn't know who she was. Like she was still growing herself, but for her to have the space as a single parent to discover herself, I bet that's going to be worth more than, again, all the people who say like you should have somebody there to help pay your bills and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, I think she said something along the lines of, I think I'm doing okay, or
Yeah.
something like that. But it's it's crazy to me how you're either like in the middle where you're feeling, "Oh, I think I'm doing okay. Here are all of the good things that are happening in my life
Mhm.
now." Or they're on the other side where they're like, "Yes, I am for sure doing
Mhm.
amazing. I'm for sure thriving." And it's, the next one that I have is like, "Oh, I
Okay.
think I'm doing okay." And then it just lists out all these great things and it's funny to me. How could you start it off by saying, I think I'm doing okay, and
Yeah.
then have all these amazing things that
Mhm.
you're doing? So,
Well, read it because I have a thought on that, but I want to hear all her amazing things first. So let me hear hers.
okay. Well, so this one's also a part of the not always financially thriving, but doing okay. So
Okay.
this one's not as long, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still moving, in my opinion. It
Okay.
says, I don't know if I'd say I'm thriving financially, but definitely getting by comfortably and thriving in all other areas. Bills paid, in
Mm-hmm.
parentheses, mostly.
Yeah.
Food in the fridge.
Okay.
Kids
Okay.
healthy and happy.
Good.
I was homeless and a
Oh.
hopeless drug addict before kids.
Mm.
I am now a mom of 3 and have basically been single and doing it on my own for 14 years, except the 1 year with my middle kid's dad.
Okay.
I work from home, so I get to homeschool my special needs kids.
Nice.
I own a home and a little piece of property and starting up my homestead one project at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have had hard days as well,
Yeah.
but I am truly happy, grateful, and blessed.
That's sick.
So
That's
good.
so many good things about that one. So yeah, you're right. Like she should be so proud of herself. Going from
Right.
homeless to having a home, like that's huge. Doing 14
Drugs.
years doing it all yourself, drugs, like she
Yes.
should be giving. So the thing I was going to say though is that while there's still this sense of doubt, I was listening to I don't know, maybe it was a single mom or maybe it's just a woman in general or whatever, but she's joking about the fact that she would list all of her accolades. Like, I think she's like a doctor, went to this school, makes all this money, doing all these different things. Like, she had a pedigree above and beyond most people. But she was single, she wasn't married. So she could list all those things. But then she like, oh yeah, and I'm single, blah blah blah. And then she's like, 9 times out of 10, the one thing people want to bring up after I list all these things is like, oh, you're not married? Oh, I'm sorry.
Ugh.
You'll find
Why do
somebody
they have
one
to
day.
ruin that?
Yeah, like you'll just gotta be patient. You'll find it. And she's like, but do you not hear I'm a doctor? I went to Harvard. I make all this
Yeah.
money. I have a like, but it's just so that's the society, that's the culture, that's just the narrative of like, man, I bought a house, I overcame drugs from raising my kids, taking care of a special needs child, homeschooling, all these great things. But
Mhm.
society be like, oh, but like, have you found somebody? Are you in
Yeah,
love? Are
why
you
do
doing like
people have
that's
to
just
do
what they want to
that?
focus on? So then that's when the doubt comes in. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not enough because I don't have that one thing, and then kind of downplays all the other great. So no, 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 no. She sounds amazing, and she needs to definitely hype herself up and be so proud because yes, that is literally the definition of thriving, going from homeless and
Yes.
on drugs to having a house and getting to homeschool your kids, 14 years doing it yourself. mm,
I know.
A
Isn't that
plus.
wild? I know.
Yeah,
She deserves a gold star
she
for
does,
everything that she's
seriously.
doing because I mean, God knows it's not easy to do all those things, especially 14 years.
That's a
And
long time.
I mean, if it's 14 years, she definitely, I'm sure she had options for people that she could have
Hmm.
been with and she could have
Yep.
settled. So I do give her props for knowing her worth. And she's
Hmm.
saying that she was with her middle kid's dad for 1 year.
Yeah, for like one
But
year. Yeah.
kudos to her for walking away or whatever. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't actually know what happened, but kudos
Yeah.
to her for moving on and being able to do this for such a long period of time. I'm just, I'm so proud of everyone. I'm
I'm
so
getting hyped.
proud.
The more we do this, I'm getting more and more hyped. I'm like, this is amping me up. Like, I love hearing all these things. All right,
I
I got one more
know.
to read, and I think, do you have one more after this too?
I do, but mine's really short.
Okay, yeah, mine's not too long either, so we'll just read these last couple. This person says, "My life has never been better." She just comes out and just says it as a single
Slay.
mom. I was married. Oh, okay. I was married for 23 years, together for 30. Wow.
Hmm.
Oh, he was abusive mostly the whole time. It just got worse as the years invested. I made a plan to leave. Oh my gosh, he nearly killed my daughter and I during the divorce process. It's not easy to get out, but here I am, 3 years later, way happier. I have less money and financial support, but I have way more friends than I did then, and my life is still a million times better alone. I'm a first grade teacher, and my daughter just graduated high school and started nursing school. We are just great.
Oh,
That's gonna make me a little teary. I'm not gonna lie. I
oh.
read that read that a few days ago, and I kind of forgot that's what it was about. And that, oh my
I
gosh,
mean, honestly, God
dang,
bless. God bless for
damn,
to be with somebody for that long. I mean, any amount of time being with somebody that is abusive and hurting you. And, abuse really, I mean, trigger warning, but abuse is like an umbrella term. And there are so many things that fall underneath the raindrops
mm,
that come from the
mm-hmm,
umbrella term abuse,
mm-hmm,
because it could be
mm-hmm.
physical, it could be
Yep,
emotional, it could be sexually. All those things. Like there are so many ways to abuse someone, and you never really know what somebody's going through. But to be able to overcome that and say
yep.
that you're thriving now, and I mean, I know it's hard to get out of a relationship like that. My very first relationship I was ever in was not
Mm-hmm.
a good relationship. And because it was my
Oh,
first boyfriend, I just didn't know. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah,
overcame that. And I know it's really hard to like leave a relationship like that, especially when there's children involved. So I just
right.
can't even imagine everything that she endured and went through, but for her to be thriving now and living the life that she's living, she is just on the path to success, and my heart is
Yep.
with her. Wow. And to like, be
Sheesh.
teaching and stuff. Wow. I feel I need to get on a phone call with this woman.
Gosh, it's just so powerful, and yet
Yeah.
and I'm going to say this, but I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say this. So yet there's people who have those stories, and yet there's people who would see that she's a single mom. Maybe she posts something on TikTok that she's single, not with her ex anymore, and would shame her, being like, "You should have left. You should never leave. You're a piece of crap for
He didn't
breaking up
want
your
you.
family. Yeah, he didn't do all these things." And so shaming for the fact that, and her story's like, I was in an abusive relationship.
Right. She's a
I tried
survivor.
to do the right thing and almost got killed. So your guys' wisdom is, oh, well, yeah, you should have made it work. You should have figured it out. You shouldn't have ruined your family. Now you're a broken home. Now you're all these things. And it's just like, your guys' definition of a healthy home is really dumb and really backwards and really sad. Like, if your definition of a healthy home, a single parent, single mom who's figuring it out, doing the things, but living, thriving, has friends, paying the bills, versus an abusive, unsafe house, but the people are married and together, and there's a mom and there's a dad, and your version of the toxic home is the single mom house. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it.
I mean, who would really would you honestly want to choose a life like that? It just doesn't make sense. Who do these people
I
think they
don't
are when they
I
shit on
don't
people?
understand. I don't. We'll have to do an episode where we really try to put our minds. The show like Criminal Minds and stuff like that, where they catch the
Yeah.
killer because they put themselves in the mind of a killer. We should do an episode like that where we just try to put ourselves in the mind of these people who comment stuff like that and
I just
see like, why
they
do
must
you
hate their
say that?
lives.
I
They
think that's
must
what it
hate their
is. Yeah.
lives.
they're miserable in their
They
own.
are,
Maybe they got married or whatever, and they're miserable and they're not happy, but
for sure.
they can't or too scared to leave or don't want to leave or whatever the reason. But they feel like they're stuck. So they see single parents out there doing their thing, thriving, and internally they kind of wish they probably could exercise some of that freedom, but instead of actually addressing why they have that insecurity, they want to shame because it makes them feel better about their crappy lives.
Yeah.
That's what it
I
is,
just
but
I can't
I
get
don't know.
over it for her to go from it's like it's so crazy for, the toxic energy to homelessness and drugs
Mm-hmm.
and abuse. And I mean, this one's really, really short. It's just a couple
Okay.
sentences, and it
Okay.
actually is going to end us on such a good note. But it's so
Cool.
crazy to think about how all these people overcome things. And this one,
Yeah.
talks about like the father being an alcoholic. So it's
Okay.
just it's crazy. It's and relatable. But it's really short. It says, "I have my moments, but I'm happier, in a better place financially, and my son grew up being an amazing young man. I did
Yeah.
that. Not his alcoholic absent
Yeah.
father." And that's
Mm-hmm.
literally it. That's literally it. It's so crazy. I mean,
Dang.
her, the father being absent and an alcoholic, like clearly a huge loser. But this all
Mm-hmm.
circles back to what we were talking about towards the beginning because she said, I did that. And
Yep.
saying her son grew up to be an amazing young man. And you have to think about yourself and your girls and your older
Yeah.
daughter showing compassion and all those things. Like, you truly have to think, shit, I did that. I mean, it's not like nurture versus nature, but you definitely played
Yeah.
a huge role in, you know, the young women that they are becoming with the compassion and caring for each other and worrying
Mm-hmm.
about other people's feelings. It's something you truly need to be super
Wow.
duper proud of. You yourself need to be really proud of
Dang.
that. And anybody listening, I'm so proud of myself. It's so crazy how everything comes full circle. Just yesterday, I was
Okay.
talking with my sister in law. I mean, her son is about to be 1. He turns 1 next month, and he was asleep on her shoulder, and she was trying to, like, pour, like, her booby milk into a bottle and stuff, and so I was like, "Okay, here, let me help you," and she's like, "I just don't know how in the fuck you did all of this alone." And
Oh.
she's like, and the fact that Grayson is like amazing as he is, he's sweet
Mm-hmm.
and kind, and he's truly like not a naughty boy. Of course he makes naughty he does things naughty occasionally, but what child doesn't?
Yeah.
And he's so
Exactly.
smart, and she's like, "I just don't know how you did it. Like, you just did such a good job with him." And I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of all of these people reading all their comments.
Oh my gosh.
That
Yes.
I'm just really, really, really in my feels. I don't know what's going on, but me posting all the stuff on TikTok saying I love you guys and reading all of these things, like I'm truly really in my feels, and I'm just so happy and I'm so proud of everyone. I just feel so good.
I love it. I love it. And that's why we need to end the episode full circle by singing
Ah,
because wait, what was your Durkee D? Is that his name?
Durkee D.
This Durkee D set the tone. We should all be proud because our kids are
Yeah.
thriving. They're doing well. We're killing it. Man, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This episode just got me hyped. So I'm glad we did this. We need to do more episodes like this because this was awesome.
I know, I feel so
This is good.
good.
I
I'm,
needed
like,
this.
so
I
in my
needed this. I
feels.
feel
Why did
good.
this put me in my feels
I
so much?
know. Oh gosh, I just love it. And I hope you guys out there got a lot out of this. We literally on that post I made, there's like what I think like 100 comments
There's
on
over
there.
100.
There's a lot. So maybe we will save some more and do some more of this in the future. But just want you listening from the 6 that we read from Jessica and I's stories to know that you guys are awesome. You're not alone. You're thriving. You're killing it. And you're thriving. Don't forget you're thriving. No matter what social media says, no matter what the algorithm puts out about single moms, whatever the cliche, the stereotype, the theories out there about single moms, forget it. You beat those, you beat the stereotypes, you're thriving, and we love to see it. So keep doing that.
Woohoo,
Keep it up.
I'm so happy.
Keep it up.
I'm so happy.
All right, well, until next time, that's going to get ready to do it. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
And blessings.
Peace and blessings. Bye.